everyone, and welcome back to Break Time Conversations, a YouTube channel where I have conversations around education. I have been a teacher all my life, and along my journey, I have met and continue to meet so many interesting and inspiring people. And so I decided to document my conversations with them here so that you too can hear their stories and the amazing work that they do. I'm here today with the very beautiful Viky Wilson-Woko. I met her on LinkedIn, and she's a special needs advocate. And so that really intrigued me, and I started following her. And then one day I reached out to her and said, would you like to have a conversation with me on my YouTube channel? And she said, yes. So here we are. So Viky, instead of me trying to introduce you, why don't you introduce yourself to us?
Okay, thank you. Hello, world. It's a great pleasure to be on this channel. And I must say, Nupa, you're doing a great job. Thank you so much for channels like this that provide a platform for educators and those who are aspiring to be educators to glean from what we're doing in this space. Thank you so much for that effort. So in a nutshell, I'm a special needs advocate. I'm a special needs coach. So I work with children in special schools and mainstream settings. I direct affairs in an inclusive setting. That's to say, I'm a school director. I have a school that is inclusive. It's open to all children with or without disabilities. And I'm a consultant working with so many families, schools within my own region to ensure that quality special education service is provided to children who require them. Basically, that's what it is. And then most importantly, I'm up for teacher trainings. I do a lot of teacher trainings. As a matter of fact, I love to teach. And I looked and I said, hey, there is only one way that I can spread, multiply this effect, and that's through teacher training. So I do lots of teacher trainings, and the trainees can tell and they can testify to the fact that they have been highly impacted by the trainings that I organize. So it's a whole lot, and that's because we need a lot of professional hands on the field. So the least we can do is preach, and keep preaching.
That's amazing, Viky. That sounds so interesting. So, which part of the world are you based in?
I'm doing this from Nigeria. I'm here in Nigeria.
Wow, that's so exciting.
Specifically the Federal Capital Territory. That's the capital, yeah.
Oh, Nigeria. Lovely. So it's so wonderful to hear what you're doing. So you mentioned the word coach. So I just want to focus on that right now because it's a word that is going around a lot, coaching, mentoring. So why do you call yourself a coach, Viky?
I don't even call myself a coach. That's the funny thing. It is the people who feel like I'm a coach to them that call me a coach. Let's put it that way. You find special educators who really want you to walk them through that path, and you're willing to do that. For the most times, they could just contact you at even odd hours. Probably sometime you should be resting. And just because you're passionate about it, you're just there. You're just very available to supply the details that they need to work with. And at any point in time, they're stuck, even in the middle of an activity. You're their go-to person. And they're like, please, can you bill me? I just encountered this. And sometimes you're like, does this person really know that I'm in the middle of an activity as well? They just get stuck and they reach out to you. So they're like, it makes me feel good to know that I'm the light that people can think of when they're in a dark space. And so they see me as a coach. You can't even catch me attaching myself, attaching that title to my name anywhere on my social media handle. You can't catch me doing that. But that's the way people see me, and I love to see myself that way as well.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I mean, you make being a coach sound very special, and it seems like there's a huge need for people like you. So, talking about that, how did you get into special needs? And is there a huge need in, where you live?
Okay, a lot of persons go to school to study what they intend to practice. For someone like me, my first degree was not even in education. I had my first degree in agricultural economics. And so while in that space, a lot of persons kept saying, "You're a good teacher." Whenever the lecturer leaves the class and we're stuck, we come to you. Your explanation fits well. It just makes sense. Are you considering teaching? It was just like, I said, okay. By the time I was done with my first degree, I went on to a college of education, and then I acquired my certificate of registration with the Teachers Registration Council here in Nigeria, and then moved on to take other international, excuse me, other international trainings in special needs education. Now, while I was doing all of this, I was already functioning as a special needs educator, providing shadow duties. And at my spare time, I would volunteer in special needs facilities. So it was just a divine call. For me, it was a divine call. I felt like God was speaking through a lot of people, and I just had to listen. And from the very first day I took the first step into this space, I haven't had any cause to regret. I discovered that it's me. It just allows me to be me. You know, it's like a therapy. So whenever I feel down and I think about teaching people something in this space, I become well. So it has become a part of me. And so I'm enjoying the journey,
Yeah.
summary.
Yeah, that sounds lovely. It's like a true calling, and you found your purpose. And I think you're so blessed to have found your purpose, because I know there are so many people who are still, running around in circles wondering what they're supposed to be doing in life. That's amazing. And I can imagine how many lives you are touching through the work that you do. So, Vicky, you mentioned, so have you, I don't know if I got it right. Have you started a school, or you are just working with a particular school, or what is that again? Could you please shed some light
Okay.
on that?
So when I started my journey into special needs education, I was a shadow teacher and more like handling an entire arm in the school. That was like years back. How many years from now? But currently, it's 3 years and counting since I started running my own school. So I'm currently running an inclusive elementary school,
Wow. What is the name of your school?
Relis Academy.
Oh,
Relis
lovely.
Academy.
That's so nice. And how many students do you have?
Oh, we're young, we're growing, and we're pushing. The population here, they still live a lot in denial. So you get people who think that it's no, it's I don't think my child has that problem. So we have the neurotypical children as well, and we have the children who require special education. So we take mild to moderate cases, and if there are severe cases, we refer them to a facility that has the resources to handle.
Hmm.
So our population is beautiful and growing. I think I would like to keep it that way.
Very nice, very nice. When you talk about denial, it's the same here in India. And I think only now, lots of awareness is growing. But yes, but we still continue to have lots of parents who live in denial about their children. Um, that it's so lovely, Vicky. It's so wonderful to hear all that you're doing. So ever since you've started your own facility, your own school, what are the challenges that you have faced so far?
Okay, like I said, the first challenge would be people still trying to come to terms with the fact that there is something called special needs education. And you get parents who say, I think my child can do well. Just give the child some time. Just give the child some time. The child will pick up. And even when you tell them that these are the procedures to be taken to achieve a certain thing, they just think it's an illusion. So you keep going back and forth with this group of, you know, parents and guardians, but somehow in the long run they get to settle. How do you get to do that? It's by giving effective feedback, feedback that makes sense to them and they can relate to, getting them involved in their children's activities, you know, ensuring that they are not out of touch, having parent teacher forums where you can talk about this, invite them over for conversations one on one, just in case the peculiarity of their case isn't something you want to discuss in a public place. So you just keep taking it one step at a time, and somehow they come to settle and say, okay, so now we're here. What next? And that is the green light. So you begin to do some other things. Now, that's basically the challenge I have in my own location. However, parents outside, not within my location, not within my school community, who I also provide these services to, have already come to terms with that because they are in a different location where the awareness level is higher. So it's all about like location by location. So it feels like I'm almost the only one in my location who is speaking, and it's so difficult to get everybody to listen. But you come to a different location and you have more special needs educators concentrated in that space, and it's easy for them to be heard. So it's about the population. And that is why what I'm doing in my own space is to increase the awareness starting from my school. So I ensure that my own teachers have trainings that help them understand what this is about, and then give them an opportunity to not just work with children within the school, but also outside the school so they can have a different view, perception to all of these processes. Now, when they learn, they bring it back to the school community, and in their neighborhood, they spread the word. So we keep taking it one step at a time because I can't do it alone. So basically, that's the challenge, and this is what we're doing to deal with that challenge.
That's beautiful. I love your outlook. You so very calmly, you're trying to take one step at a time, overcome one challenge at a time. That's beautiful. So, what keeps you going, Vicky? And I mean, I know being alone, an entrepreneur, starting your own um, facility in a place where there is the awareness isn't that great. What keeps you going?
I would say first, passion. Passion. That that is something you need. Like, a lot of people talk about vision, and you talk about forums like vision boarding and all that. See, there is nothing as unique as a vision that just came divinely to you. It's your driving force, it's your passion. You desire to wake up to it daily amidst the odds, amidst the challenges, you're willing to push through because all you can see is the prize at the end. And you're like, we can get there. We can get there. No matter the odds, we're just making it to that point. So you never give up. So this particular thing, passion, keeps me going, to be honest, because there are times, especially during the lockdown, when I had to even do pro bono services a lot just to help parents, especially those who um, felt like this was not real. You know, I don't think it is working. I've heard lots of educators say this, say that. They all say the same thing, and we're still where we are. So I've had to even volunteer my services. That is how much passion has led me. Okay. So besides my work and all that, it's not about work, work, work. So I try to de-stress whenever I feel like, oh my God, I think I need a break. I do a lot of karaoke. I do a lot of karaoke. So I love to sing. I love to sing to children. As a matter of fact, I love to play with children. And so I bring singing into it. Of course, you have to sing a lot to these children. So I do a lot of karaoke when I am not teaching to distress, so many things. Basically, that's it.
I love it. I love that you do karaoke. That's so nice. Would you like to sing one line of a song for us?
Oh my God. I think we'll need another show for that. And we're just gonna
Yeah,
sing all
yeah.
through.
Sorry to put you on the spot, Vicky. But Vicky, it has been so inspiring, listening to you, listening to your story, your journey. And as we come to an end, what's the message that you would like to give to all our listeners today, whether they are parents or students or teachers, educators? What's the message?
Okay. I would like to say that we should, in our own um way, in the best way that we can, reduce any form of stigmatization. Education is one thing, special education is another thing. Special education is the special effects you add to education. And if you have a child with special needs, or you teach a child with special needs, you should think of one word: empowerment. Empowerment. Let this child know that they can do it. How can you let them know? By giving them the opportunity to even try it. I would not know that I can speak if you don't give me a script to read or you don't ask me a question or something. Create an opportunity for these learners with special needs to thrive. That is one way you can empower them. It shows that you trust them. It shows that you believe in them. And while doing all of this, show love. Love conquers a lot of things. If a child doesn't feel loved, they are not going to trust you. They're not going to feel comfortable around you. They're not going to open up to you. You must be willing to show that love, empathy, acceptance. There's a whole lot in this space. We haven't just gone through our trainings as special needs educators to deliver without the human side of us. We can't pour from an empty cup. If you want to teach empathy, if you want to walk with empathy, you must know how to be empathetic. You need to know how to accept people by accepting yourself. You need to embrace your journey so you can embrace other people's journey as well. It's just 50-50. It has to be balanced. So let's understand that for us to be excellent individuals to the children around us, to the people around us, it has to begin with us. Love yourself so you can love others. Care for yourself so you can care for others. Always look out for yourself so you can be there for another person. So basically, I know parents who have children with special needs, they're going through a lot. Join a support group. I forgot to mention that I run a support group. So my support group is basically for mothers who have children with special needs, because I have this agenda for the women ministry. So it's just mothers, and it's focused on self-care and other forms of enlightenment. Join a support group. Never feel ashamed. There is a reason why you have a child with special needs, and you need to take up that cross and trust that grace is available for you to run that race. That would be my word to parents and to educators. Keep availing yourself the opportunity to get trained. There are free trainings, and you can negotiate with your trainer to probably give you a discount or run your training on credit and pay later. Where there is a will, there is a way. You never know when a child with special needs will drop at your doorstep. So be ready to receive one. So that will be my message to educators and parents. And for us who are already in the space, never give up. It can only get better. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Vicky. I think even I needed to hear some of the things that you just said. Thank you so much. Thank you for being such an inspiration to so many around you, and all the best. And God bless you as you continue on this wonderful journey of yours.
God bless you too. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Vicky, and bye for now.
Bye.